So, a lot of people just think of gaming as an escape, right? Like a way to check out of reality, turn off your brain for a bit, and maybe kill a few hours. But what if it's actually the exact opposite? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into some fascinating research that completely tears down this whole illusion of gaming as just mindless entertainment. Instead, it reveals how certain games are actually serving as rigorous flight simulators for the human mind. Pretty wild, right? Okay, let's dive into this. Seriously, what if your toughest, most complex real-world dilemmas could be solved by playing a game? I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive. We're just so used to separating play over here and work or reality over there. But we're going to absolutely shatter those surface-level assumptions today. We're looking at a massive paradigm shift in how we understand cognitive development and practical reasoning. Chapter 1, The Mind's Training Ground, Redefining the Digital Experience. So if we really want to understand this research, we have to start by totally redefining the digital experience. We need to stop looking at these digital worlds as just toys, or mere distractions. We have to start seeing them for what the data clearly shows they are. They are dynamic virtual laboratories for your brain. And the core difference we're talking about here? It's passive versus active engagement. Think about it. On one hand, you've got passive entertainment, like binge watching a show or mindlessly scrolling on your phone. Your brain is largely disengaged. It's literally just passively consuming information. But then on the other hand, you have active, decision-based gaming. And the research is super clear on this. When you're thrust into these rigorous cognitive environments where you actually have to solve problems to progress, your brain engages in a completely different way. It's not relaxing. It's actively working out. And the absolutely crucial concept here is scenario-based simulation. This is a digital environment that specifically challenges users to navigate unexpected situations. It requires analytical problem-solving, rapid decision-making, and structural adaptation. You can think of it exactly like a pilot in a flight simulator, right? A pilot doesn't just, read a textbook about flying and call it a day. They get thrown into a simulator with unexpected engine failures and terrible weather. Why? To actively prepare their brain for real-world turbulence. And that is exactly what these specific games are doing to your reasoning skills. Chapter 2, Escape Rooms and Inductive Logic, Finding the Pieces. So, based on the findings, virtual escape room simulations are actually highly effective cognitive training grounds. But why? Well, because they foster this intense attention to detail, which significantly improves inductive reasoning. Think about it. In a virtual escape room, you are forced to build major conclusions from minor, easily overlooked details. It could be a strange mark on a virtual wall or maybe a missing book on a digital shelf. Your brain is actively practicing taking these tiny, seemingly random fragments of data and synthesizing them into a grand, life-saving solution. It's like a giant puzzle. That is inductive logic at its absolute finest. Chapter 3, Reflective Games and Deduction, the Science of Decision. Now, what's really interesting about this is when we shift our focus to games explicitly designed to trigger reflective thought. This takes us way beyond just finding clues. We're talking about titles like The Witness and The Talus Principle. These aren't just your standard puzzles. They are deeply reflective, highly decision-based environments. And the data indicates that playing these specific types of games significantly strengthens logical and deductive reasoning. You aren't just reacting to things jumping out at you on the screen, you're actually deducing rules from the environment, you're testing hypotheses, and you're learning from failure. Honestly, it's essentially the scientific method, gamified. Chapter 4, Pattern Recognition in Chaos, Finding Order. But what happens when we speed things up, right? How does your brain react when the luxury of time is just completely stripped away? Well, the research points to high-stakes, fast-paced multiplayer arenas. It specifically calls out games like Dota 2 as the ultimate test for maintaining cognitive order amidst total chaos. In these games, players have to assess highly complex scenarios, adapt their techniques in real time, and identify hidden patterns, all while under immense pressure. I mean, think about that for a second. The ability to identify hidden patterns in-game while literally 10 different things are happening at once, that translates directly to assessing a complex, high-pressure project at work when deadlines are crashing down around you. It's the exact same cognitive muscle. Chapter 5, Navigating Real-World Dilemmas, the Transfer to Reality. Let's move to and see how this builds, because this transfer to reality happens through a very specific 3-step cognitive sequence that researchers have identified. Step 1, you encounter an unexpected virtual dilemma. This immediately forces your brain off of autopilot. Step 2, you formulate an analytical solution to survive, or, to win the scenario. And here's the real magic in Step 3. You then apply that enhanced, practiced reasoning to a real-life challenge. The mental pathways you're carving out in the digital world, they don't just stay on the screen. They become a permanent part of your real-world cognitive toolkit. I really want to anchor our explainer today with this bold finding straight from the research. Quote, "These experiences help them view things differently when they face real-life challenges." Surviving unexpected digital situations fundamentally reshapes your real-life perspective. You actually stop seeing a roadblock at work or a sudden crisis in your personal life as this impassable wall. Actually, scratch that. It's more like you start seeing it as just another puzzle, a puzzle that just requires a new strategy to solve. The studies even show that this cognitive conditioning leads to an increased vocabulary for logical communication. Because you're constantly processing these complex rules and strategies in-game, you actually become better at articulating yourself logically in reality. When life throws a curveball at you, you already have the critical thinking skills ready to find quick, decisive solutions. Why? Because your brain has already rehearsed dealing with the unexpected 1,000 times over in a digital environment. Which leaves us with this final question to ponder. If a digital simulation can train your mind to conquer the unexpected, how will you use your next virtual challenge to navigate your real-world reality? The next time you sit down to play a scenario-based game, just remember this. You aren't just escaping reality. You're engaging in serious cognitive conditioning. You are actively sharpening the very reasoning skills you need to thrive. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.